All right, welcome back to Off the Rails here. Another episode, another member interview this week with Brice Berg. So, Cameron, take it away.
Yeah, we got Papa Berg in here. We were just chatting a little bit about how things were going. Obviously, we chatted a little bit. Didn't make it to the gym this week.
Nope.
Happens. Life
Yeah.
happens, especially when you got a little one.
Yes.
But yeah, man, let's chat a little bit about I guess CrossFit in general, kind of like what got you into it, where you started, and we'll kind of get to here. So, how long have you been doing CrossFit?
So we hit 1 year here back in August. And so we're doing that. So here for a year, and then at the previous gym I was at, I was there for about a year.
And that's where y'all started.
That's where I started.
Okay.
So about 2 years total now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Like what, I guess what drew you to CrossFit? What were you doing before? And then you're like, oh, that's what I need to do.
Yeah. Gosh, fitness has been like a bit of a evolution with Sarah and I. So for a while I was just going to big box gym, lifting weights, spending like 2 hours there, half of that on my phone scrolling and like thinking I'm working out, and then realizing, oh, I'm not doing anything here. So I got really bored of that. And so when COVID hit, my buddy introduced me to a company called GoRuck.
Yep.
And he was like, hey, there's this event coming up. It's called the GoRuck Heavy. It's a 24-hour like team-based event that I want to do. And he started like hyping it up to me. And I'm like, okay, this sounds cool. I don't know if I can do that. Like, I've never done anything. I've never worn a ruck that has like 45 pounds in it. I've never done like sandbag work. But we started training for it, and it was just a lot of like sandbag work, body weight stuff, having a ruck on our back, going on like, I mean, we went on like 15-mile rucks with all of our gear, just like training out for this event. Ended up doing it. We got through it all through the 24 hours. And from there I was like hooked on, let's do sandbag workouts, let's go rucking, like let's just tear our bodies apart essentially, because it was like a lot of grunt work.
Where was that at?
So the event was in Chicago, and this was back when we were living in Ohio.
Okay.
When we were training for that. So yeah, that sucked up a lot of my time. Was just doing a lot of. We would go to his garage, and he had some barbell and like dumbbell weights, but it primarily was like sandbag work.
Yeah.
And then same friend watched some of the CrossFit Game documentaries.
Gotcha.
And he's like, you need to check this out.
I got this other thing.
Yeah, he's like, check out this other thing. And at that time I was like, I knew of CrossFit, but it was kind of like a meme in my mind of like seeing guys do butterfly pull-ups, and I'm like, those aren't really pull-ups. Needless to say, I can't do butterfly pull-ups. I'm like, holy cow, these are really hard. So, and then there's like this one specific meme that I can always think of. It's like this guy, it says like 5-year CrossFit transformation. And it's like this guy who's like toned and ripped, but it's like one picture and it's the exact same picture next to it. It's like 5-year transformation, exact same results. I'm like, okay, CrossFit, like, yeah, I guess I'll check it out. But watch the documentaries and I was like, holy smokes, like these guys are insane.
Yeah.
And so he started like programming more like CrossFit stuff because he was a personal trainer, got certified with his L1, started learning more about CrossFit. We did some stuff in his garage. And then right about that time was when we decided to move down to South Carolina. And so when we moved here, I was like, yeah, 100% I'm getting into CrossFit.
And try to figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Sweet. That's a cool journey. That's a good way into it. The 24-hour event reminds me of, we did a thing called Operation Endure here.
Okay.
With Green Beret Fitness.
Yep.
Last year, maybe a little over a year ago, 2 years ago. Did you do it, Nate? No, it was Claire did. Okay, yeah. But I did it and participated. It was 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. and there was a new workout every hour.
Oof.
And obviously it was like it was mainly just participation. Like, could you just make it through the whole thing essentially? But I mean, it was a different kind of mental grind.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, it doesn't matter how heavy or how hard the thing is. It's just like you're moving for 24 hours and trying not to like quit.
Yeah.
Basically.
It sucks. Like you don't have to do a lot for 24 hours for
No.
it to suck.
Yeah. I do. It was a good experience though, of like personally, because it put you in like a mindset of like, well, you can see like everyone's mindset was like a little bit different, but like for me, I learned like, you know, it's almost like an AMRAP. Like there wasn't a like get this work done and you're done.
Yeah.
It was like you're here for 24 hours.
Yep.
Whether you go hard, you go fast, or whatever. Like this is a 24-hour event. So it was like just settle in, try to have fun, do what you can, and like don't hurt yourself. And at 10 a.m. tomorrow, you get to leave and go home. Like that was it, you know. And just to kind of like learn that about like longer endurance style things. So we did that before I did the marathon. So I think that helped me with like marathon training and like the idea of like, all right, I'm not going for anything fast. I just want to finish this marathon, which then like now is like 40-minute AMRAP. It's like, all right, like we're here for 40 minutes. Like just be smart about it, like settle in, and this is what it is. You know what I mean? But what's cool is how that kind of stuff kind of can affect you outside of the gym too, right? Like in life and whatnot. It's like, especially with a baby. Like, let me tell you what I learned. Man, it's just like, you know, things change all the time. And sometimes it's like you want to put her down or whatever, you know, like, but it's just like, okay, I have to rock you. And so it's like, I might be in here for 10 minutes or I might be in here for 30 minutes. Like, I'm just here until she's asleep and I can get her like down in the crib or whatever. You know what I mean? And so it's like that patience of just like, I'm here and this is like the mode I'm in. Because well, now she needs me, but it's just like, you know, that kind of like ability necessarily, like definitely mentally, like I feel like kind of lines up. So, and I'm sure you'll have more of that coming your way.
Well,
but have you had any comparisons like that of like things that you've kind of learned or like?
I think the biggest thing that I've learned through like that experience is like my wife and I, we always talk about like how we can do hard things. Like we are more than capable of doing hard things. And then we just look back like, what have we accomplished in the past? And like, I look at that event or just other things that I've done. Like I was training for a whole different event and then had an injury, and it didn't end up being able to actually do it. But I think back to that training, I'm like, man, if I could do that, like I know I can do this. And like that has resonated not only to like into fitness, but into our life, our work, our businesses that we run, and now into our family life as well. And like something that we want to ingrain into Landon is like the Berg family is capable of doing hard things. So let's go and figure it out.
Like attack it. Don't run from it.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, we can do this. We'll get through it to the other side. I was actually listening to a different podcast today and they were talking about kind of the same idea of like when things come up, it's like you can choose to deal with it and like the pain can be short and you can get to the other side because it's going to be difficult. Whether you choose to attack it or you let it just kind of linger for a long time and then you finally deal with it, or you just deal with it over like a long period of time. It's like, why not just do it now and try to get to the other side of it? And it's like the more you do that, then the more easy hard things become because it's just like, oh, I'm just willing to go do that thing. And just like move to the next thing. You know, so that's cool.
It's like I tell like some of our friends that aren't part of the gym, it's like growth is in this area between pain and your self-limiting like beliefs. And it's like if you can just find that place where you just go past your self-limiting beliefs, not quite towards pain, because no one wants to be in pain. It's going to hurt, but not like you shouldn't be in pain. Like that's when you really start seeing the growth. And like when you start really embracing that idea of like, okay, I can do hard things now.
Because then you're like, oh, what's the next hard thing I can do? Like, you know what I mean? Which kind of that'll lead us into the next thing because so the fact that I thought maybe you'd done a CrossFit a little bit longer before you got here, but that kind of is interesting because you like to push yourself really hard, obviously. But you've started talking about wanting to compete a little bit more lately and whatnot, which we did some training pre-Landon. And then you asked me the other day about like here soon wanting to get back into it. So like, is that part of why you like to compete, like the pushing yourself and the challenge of it? Or you want to compete, I guess you should.
Yeah, absolutely. So back before we got into CrossFit, forgot to mention, and Sarah will hold me accountable to this, is we did Orange Theory Fitness for a while. And I really liked that they had like different challenges and like milestone days and just like benchmark days, similar to CrossFit where we have like different benchmark workouts. And so I just love those things, to be able to see progress and how much further can I push myself. And like, it's good at times. It's also a bad thing at times too, where I'm like, I'm running my head against the wall multiple days during the week. I was like, probably not the healthiest thing.
Yeah.
But like, when it comes to competition, to me, it's just like, I've done one individual competition and I loved it. And the way that I just look at it is like, I like to see how far I've come,
Yeah.
and like, what is that next level I can push myself. Like, when we did this past open was the first time I did the open, and that third workout, like, that was the most wall walks I've ever done in my life in like one sitting. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, I can't believe that I finished that workout because I found like a different level to push myself.
Right.
It helped that I had like, it felt like 100 people yelling at my face to finish that row. But
Come on, Brice.
but it's like, that's the type of stuff that I love. It's just like, how much further can I go? How much more can I push?
Yeah.
What is that next threshold that I can go?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think it's always physical, or is there mental thresholds as well?
Oh, it's 100% mental
Okay.
for me, at
Yeah.
least. Because I just like, I've never thrown up working out, and like, that's like a thing that I never
We should
want to do.
keep it that way.
Like, and it's like, whenever I'm like really starting to like hurt during a workout, like, it's just, I start to like mentally pull back before
Yeah.
I physically start pulling back. And so that's one of those things, like, especially with that third CrossFit open workout, like, that was all mental for me. Like, physically, I could have done that I could do that entire workout on paper,
Right.
but in the time duration and the having that mental capacity to just keep going on the wall walks, like,
Yeah.
that's the hardest part, is just convincing myself in the moment, like, okay, just keep going, keep moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, though, that there's like steps, though, like, of you have to trust that you're able to do that, first of all?
Yeah. Yep.
So there's that part of like, okay, you've probably learned a lot in
Mhm.
the year leading up to last year's open
Mhm.
of like, oh, I might be able to do more of this stuff, right?
Mhm.
But then also, like pacing becomes a thing, which is more mental than physical for most people,
Yep.
right? Like, how you're moving, not just like putting your head against the wall, like
Yeah.
that's actually a mental, not a physical. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of both, but like, I think that's where like you start to make that difference
Mhm.
of like, um, you know, we talked about this with Eugenia last week, but like approaching the workout,
Mhm.
but then also being mindful during the workout.
Yeah.
Like, when it gets hard, are you still able to think about what you're doing and how you're doing it?
Mhm.
Or are you just blackout and your body's moving
Yeah.
and you're just hoping that it ends?
Yeah.
And like, that's two different things, right?
Yeah.
And there's sometimes the blackout's good, like on a rower
Yeah.
or a bike or like something where it's like, it's a machine and like mechanics don't matter as much.
Mhm.
But then it's like, okay, if like I'm in that blackout state and I still have wall walks to do, like, that's probably not a
That's
good place to
dangerous.
be, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's still really solid things we need to think about. So,
Yep.
it's cool to like, it's like you want to hit that next threshold, but it's like physically you're in great shape.
Mhm.
Like, you have a really good cardio. You're really strong. There's just a lot of technique things, right? That,
Yeah.
only being 2 years into CrossFit, it's like you're still learning so much.
Yeah.
Which is cool because as you're learning, and it's like, here comes Brice.
Yeah.
Like, he's just chunking away, and all of a sudden he's getting better, better, better.
I appreciate it.
Which is cool. So,
Yeah.
I would, if you would have asked me, I would have thought you had at least been doing, because I know Sarah, this was her first CrossFit experience.
Correct. Yeah.
She came from Orange Theory to here.
Yep.
But for you, I would have been like, oh yeah, he's been doing it for a couple of years, and then
Mm.
because like you had a good bit of things down.
Yeah.
There were just some technical things like with rope climbs and
Mhm.
double unders, which like there's people that do CrossFit for 5 years and still can't do those things. So it's like that's not really ever like a good tell of like how long someone's been
Yeah.
doing CrossFit.
I'm just
but
praying that I'm not part of that group for double unders, because double
Oh,
unders are my kryptonite.
you can do it. You can do it.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's a mental thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I get frustrated. I'm like, I'm done with this.
Yeah. I mean, and it can be for sure,
Yeah.
like, especially learning them. Just hope that, so I learned double unders and they were good for like, it was a handful of years. And I had this one rope, and then the rope broke. And then I changed ropes, and then I couldn't do double. I could only do like 10 to 12.
Yeah.
And then like I couldn't do like big sets anymore. And I went from doing like 50 plus to like I could only ever do like 10 at a time.
Yeah.
And this was the year that there was an open workout. Golly, this had to be 2015 or 16. And it was like 100 double unders, like 10 ring muscle ups, 100 double unders.
Oh my
Like there was
gosh.
like, it was like a 2-round, it essentially was an AMRAP, but there was like 5 or 6 movements, and after each thing was like 100 double unders. So it ended up being just obviously a crap load of double unders. But I was also frustrated because it was like I had, 6 months prior been able to do big chunks, and then now all of a sudden I was doing like 10 to, and then it became this mental thing of like, is it the rope? Is it like me? Like, why can't I figure this out? And then I was just using different people's ropes. And then finally I grabbed one of my buddies' jump ropes one day and like knocked out 40 again. And I was like, okay, what rope is this? Actually, can I just buy this rope from you? Like, can you get a new one? And then like, yeah. And so I ended up buying like similar rope, cut it to the same length, and then like kind of fix it from there. But then I made it a thing of like, okay, now you have to touch other ropes and rope lengths and like understand that this movement, and that it wasn't just like this rope, this length, this thing, and this is the only reason why you could do it. Like close your eyes and hope, and like, oh, it's going well. So it's like now I know how to double under like with lots of things, which is where you see people use like drag ropes and all weighted ropes and different things, right? It changes the cadence of it. So then it's like, okay, if you understand how to double under it, right, then you can grab other things and do it, which I didn't really have the connection with prior to that whole experience, but hopefully none of that happens. And so you learn the cadence and you learn the thing.
The ego, oh hi,
Penny girl. What do you need? You want to go out this door? She's been sitting over here for a while. Come here.
Go on.
Go. Come on.
You can do it. The ego in me wants to blame the gym, because when we first got here, there was a workout we did. I think it was like a 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 of double unders. And I did it. I was like, that was one of the first workouts I RX with double unders. I'm like, I think I finally got double unders. And then like a week later, we did crossovers. And that was my first time ever doing crossovers. Since then, I can't do double unders. I'm like, oh no.
We changed the pattern.
Yes, changed the cadence. I'm like, now I just don't know how to jump rope anymore.
The good thing is that you were able to do it, so that means we can figure it back out.
Yeah, right.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, so
that might have been me. I like to program crossovers sometimes. I don't think that was a Nate thing. It might have been Nate. I don't know. Depends. I don't remember. That's cool. Yeah. So we had a conversation a couple weeks ago now about wanting to kind of get back into it. What do you have your eyes on as far as things coming up?
So I would say for me, like from a competition perspective, I do really like, I don't know why. I've never done like a team-based competition, but I really like the idea of like individual comps, just because I think for me, it's just like a test for me. I don't want to feel like I'm holding somebody back. And so I just want to test like how well am I going to do in some situations. Not that I'm opposed to team-based competitions. It's just what I've been like felt more pulled towards. So with that, like probably not going to do Fittest of the Coast this year. I'll probably like see the workouts and just like try them out for fun. Because
did you do it last year?
I did do the online qualifier last year. Got destroyed by the clean and jerks, the progressive clean and jerks that happened.
Did you sign up for intermediate or scaled?
I think intermediate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Which may have been
curious. I mean, I had that conversation. We'll come back to this, but earlier today with a different member who's talking about mayhem, and she's looking at scaled or intermediate, and it's like, well, you're not really skilled athletes, because like you could go crush single under sit-ups, ring rows, and like easy things that you would see in a competition for a scaled competition, right? So it's like that's where intermediate becomes fun / hard. It's because it is the middle ground where you're going to see some of those heavier weights or some of those harder movements that like challenge you a little bit more. And the problem is you're just competing against people that are on that like potential RX line that don't want to cross that bridge yet, and now they're just a little bit back. So it's like they're basically an RX athlete, and you're just above a scaled athlete. So it's like there's this little big chunk of people in the middle.
Yep.
So it's like hard to like look at yourself and be like, oh, well, I got crushed by blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but if you would have done this other division, it would have probably been too easy.
Yeah.
And it just becomes cardio.
Yep.
And it's like, you have cardio.
Yep.
So it's like, is that really what you want to compete in? Or do you want to like learn these things in a different manner that's outside of class? Because you can learn them in class. You can push yourself a little bit, but it's easy in class to be like, okay, well, now I'm going to change to a scaled option, or I'm going to do this or whatever. But when you're in a competition in an intermediate setting, you can't change it. You have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to figure out if you need to rest more or how to break that up or whatever.
Yep.
And then it changes your mindset moving forward of like, okay, that's what held me back. Now I need to do this. I need to get better at this thing or whatever, if this is what I want to do again in the future.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So it's good that you signed up for intermediate, because at the time, you're better now than you were, but you were still better than a scaled athlete.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In the sense of like what that competition would have been scaled for you.
Yeah. That was the case. I did the Carolina Summer Games at CrossFit Prevail, not this year, but this past year, the first time they ran it, and I did scaled there. And that's essentially all it was, like pure cardio the entire time.
Yeah.
And just like, how well will my engine run for 4 or 5 workouts, whatever it was.
Right.
Still fun. Had a great time with it. But like, I think this coming year, I would like to do the intermediate version there. Even though this past year the workouts looked insane. So
they were definitely different.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
But probably doing that, and then at least for sure do the online qualifier for Fittest of the Coast, and then just kind of see what else is around.
So all individual, not really interested in team. Maybe team, depending.
Maybe team. I probably stick to like, if there's male competition, probably do something like that. Yeah.
And someone that's like, maybe just like, I don't really care how we finish. Like, let's have some fun and do some work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ideally, someone that's good at gymnastics.
You should get better at those things.
Yeah, I definitely, I need to get better at those things, but
cool.
Yeah. So
no, that's good. Individual is good. Like you said earlier, it's a good way to test yourself, kind of see where you're at, and push yourself too. But there's definitely, I would say there's fun in, partner competitions as well, because whether you are holding somebody back or you're the one like pushing and you're trying to drag somebody along, like both partners are still giving everything they have, because they don't want to be the one that's holding them back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where the fun and the intensity comes from too. Just like if you were doing a partner WOD in class, like you're still just like, hey, you go, I go, you go, I go, and like you're both dead by the end of it, So there's definitely still some fun in that.
Absolutely.
And it's a good practice where like, say individually, you see 20 toe to bar, maybe like that's hard. Well, if as a team there's 30, like maybe you still get a chance to help out, but you're still trying them while you're really tired in a competitive situation. You're just not having to do big chunks of it, right? So it gives you a little bit of a different feeling in that sense as well. But that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, if I know we talked about like trying to get back into doing some extra work and things.
Yes, I definitely want to.
So I'm gonna put Nate on the spot here.
Ooh.
Let's see what he's got as far as so like let's take it back to the trolley train like track idea of the options that we're offering, and kind of like let's talk about like where you're at, where you want to go, and like let's figure out the best option for Brice. So do you want to take over that conversation, Nate, and just kind of like almost like for people watching, like this is kind of maybe a conversation we would have if you were like, hey, I'm looking to do extra stuff. I'm not sure what to do or what I want to do, like what option is best. So let's see what happens here.
Well, right away, like what is the goal? So you said you want to compete. What is the time frame of said goal? So you said you're probably not going to sign up for the qualifier this year,
right?
But you're going to do the workouts. So, and especially if you want to do like an individualistic style or individual competitions, the open is probably that next one that's going to come up. Argue like maybe there's a couple local ones or something like that, but the open was probably the biggest one. So in terms of goal, time frame, where do you think you're at right now?
Time frame is tough because it's really going to come down to our son and what we're able to accomplish with free time. But when is the open?
They just announced it.
It's like end of February.
Like the last week of
Yeah.
February, first 2 weeks of March, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the open, I was able to do all of the workouts for the open except for the second one I got time capped on when I got to the bar muscle ups, which I don't have bar muscle ups down. So like the open could be a really good one to like retest and see
Like
where
push
I'm at.
for.
Yeah.
Like that maybe that's the next thing on your list of like, here's what I want to do.
Yeah. So that, or I mean, I know the Carolina Summer Games are in July, which I think that's like enough of a runway with flexibility in our schedule of trying to figure out when can I figure out how to get into the gym an extra few days for some programming. So I would say those would be the goals and the rough time frame. What was the other part?
Oh, I mean that kind of answers it, honestly. But is there a specific thing that you are trying to improve on, or is it like I just want to get well rounded to?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say what I've told Cam in the past is like gymnastics have been a tough part for me. Like I don't have bar muscle ups down. I don't have like ring muscle ups, which I don't even know if those are really programmed all that much in local comps, but
They can be.
they can be.
Yeah.
Probably depends. I would say it's probably more of an RX. Like if it's going to be
Mhm.
programmed, it's going to be more of an RX thing.
Yeah.
For 90% of competitions.
Yeah.
So
But I
maybe
have
not.
bar
Let's get
muscle.
bar muscle ups down first.
Yeah. Bar muscle ups. And then handstand push-ups is definitely a big thing too. That's been limiting.
So really, it like more gymnastic based things.
Yeah. Weightlifting, I feel a lot more comfortable with some of the Olympic movements. That'll be more so just continuing practice, I think, and technique and building up that weight over time.
So then I guess what I would say, at least right now, kind of with your goal and with kind of what you just said, like the barbell track probably isn't the right move for you right now. Like not really interested in the just pure barbell movements, right? Or the overall strength building, whereas we're looking more the gymnastic route. In terms of that performance track, you do get a little bit of everything with a good amount of engine building in terms of cardio, which you already have. Nothing wrong with doing more, of course.
Yeah.
But it's also not very specific to that goal of gymnastics, right?
Right.
So if that was your main priority is like, I want to get bar muscle ups down, I want to get handstand push-ups down, like we have to tailor that programming specific to those movements to be able to get you to a point where you feel confident and secure in everything there than gymnastics route. So as great as I think the performance track is right now, it is tailored more for engine building and then how to game workouts.
Yep.
So what I would probably recommend and say is probably more of the like advanced programming track where it's more personalized for you, where we're going into that goal of bar muscle up. We're doing specific movements to build the lat strength or the body awareness, things like that. Same with the handstand push up or even handstand walking. I don't know how well you are at that as well. But that's kind of at least my initial thought of like a 2-minute conversation.
Yeah.
Is where I personally am like a really big fan of the performance track because I've seen the growth that some of these people are getting. But with the stated goal that you've just said and kind of the time frame and everything, the extra one-on-one and personalized probably might be a better option.
Yep.
And I think with that too, the performance track is typically things you can do, right? Like it's like more not base movements, but like there are things that like you're looking at and you're like, okay, but it's also like built for like easily, okay, I can't do this movement, let's take this out because that helps me hit this goal today. Versus like your goal is like if I see bar muscle ups in the performance track and I can't do bar muscle ups, then it's like, okay, scale to this or this, right? And so then you make that switch because you're more worried about like the performance of where you're currently at.
Yep.
Versus like, okay, these are things I need to, like, I don't want to replace bar muscle ups, I need to learn bar muscle ups, right? And so I think that's where it comes into like Nate said, more of the advanced stuff of like tailoring something, and probably eyes on when it comes to gymnastics. Like it's so hard to just be like, I'm going to program you handstand push-up work. I'm not going to watch you do it. And I'm just going to hope it goes well. And then you're going to tell me how it went. And then we're going to try to do it again. Right. And even then, like you could video it and we could break it down. But then next week, you're going to try to do it again. And like, you can't see yourself upside down on the wall to see if you're correcting what I just told you probably need to correct, right? Versus like, I can stand there and be like, hey, go ahead and come back down. Let's reposition your hands. Okay, this one should feel better. Or let's go ahead and like shift this way or that way, right? So, I would definitely say with that, when you're ready, like probably some one-on-one situations we definitely need to approach. But I do think we could then add in some programming on top of that. So maybe it's like a once a week in person.
Yeah.
Where, okay, we're going to work in person on the skill of bar muscle ups or handstand push-ups. And then here's 2 additional days for the week, or 3 additional days, or however much time you feel like you have, of some accessory strength, mobility, stability stuff that's going to help you with this. And then we're going to revisit it next week. And then we're just going to keep adding the in-person sessions and the training. And so we're kind of going to put those 2 things together to make sure that we're watching Brice. We're telling him what he's mechanically doing wrong, and he's learning that. But then on his own, he's getting stronger in the areas that need to be stronger for this specific movement.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think
That's good.
Looking at something like that would probably be the better route. Because like Nate said, you probably don't need more engine work. like we know you got to get workouts.
That's where I thrive.
And if you're showing up to class regularly, you're probably getting your standard and base weightlifting and coaching in there. Like you're not looking to go do Olympic lifting stuff really, or like PR by 10, 15 pounds. Like you're pretty strong with what you got. So when it comes to a competition, like you're probably going to hit most of those weights. We just want to clean it up, so like class should take care of that part as well.
Yeah.
Versus like we don't really spend a lot, like we don't usually have like a once a week class on like today we're going to work on muscle ups, and like everyone in class is going to do muscle ups. Like that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
But today we're going to do cleans. That happens pretty regularly, right?
Right.
So yeah, I think that kind of is a good way to look at it when it's like, okay, what do I need, and what are the things that hold me back, and then like, okay, what's the next step?
Yep.
And the other thing too is like with Landon, it's like, maybe you don't have a lot of time. So maybe that looks like, hey, I want to start this sooner rather than later. I can find 1 day a week.
Yeah.
And then, hey, things are working out better. Let's bump into 2 days a week or 3 days a week or whatever of extra programming, right? And then, you can just go from there. And I think too, with the way we have it set up, like you could change that. It could go up to 3 days and then it could go back down to 1 day, and then it could go up. And along that way, we're constantly checking in. So it's like, okay, we were doing 3 days. Brice needs to go back to 1 day. What were the main things he really was struggling with that we need to make sure he's still hitting?
Yeah.
So that would be like a good way to kind of start approaching those things.
Yeah.
If and when you want to. Not that I'm trying to sell you on the point, but like that's
sign me up.
Yeah. Like for those that are watching and you might be interested, like that's how this can work, is like, you know, it doesn't take, and I mean, obviously we dig in a little bit more, like a longer conversation one-on-one, but for people looking to do extra stuff or like have those things, like, it can be pretty like based off what you need. Here's what we have. And, between the experience of both of us programming, like, we're going to point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
I think Nate would probably agree with me on the fact that like one-on-one training, yes, it is more expensive because it's a time-based thing and you need my attention for a certain amount of time.
Sure.
And programs typically are easier and they're cheaper, but like I would rather people do programs because I can help more people at one time.
Sure. Yeah.
But I enjoy one-on-ones because I get to really dial in and help you with the specific thing you need help with. And so it's just which one makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Right. So cool.
No, I love that.
This is a good conversation.
Yeah. No, I love the idea of like the flexibility, because I mean, everyone's in different stages of life, different walks of life. And so being able to adapt that, I mean, that's what CrossFit is all about.
Yeah.
Too. So it's like, how can we adapt your training schedule to best fit where you are in life right now to make sure you're still getting what you need?
Yeah.
And then we can pick it back up or keep it as is, just depending on where you're at.
Well, I'll tell you something I did recently. I, for years, have been needing to get stronger at squatting, especially front squats, squat cleans. So I hired Nate to do programming for me because I never do the things that I know I should do unless somebody else is like making me do it. And even then I told Nate like, hey, 3 days a week, I can probably get done. I've really only been getting 2 out of the 3 done. And so yesterday, actually, was that yesterday or 2 days ago? Either way, we have some old beat up dumbbells that were in the other room over there that I've taken off the racks for the nice ones to be out here. And I was like, I'm taking these home so that I can figure out how to get like the third day. Like if I need to change it, I can change it, but at least I have something at the house where if I cannot make it for that second session or third session or whatever I need to do this week, like I can use these to hopefully get something done.
Yeah.
And so not that you can do that with bar muscle ups because then you need a whole rig and things, but you know, it's just kind of trying to find the way to do it. But then also like the accountability part of like, I kind of know what I need to do, but like, okay, now I actually have somebody who's like, hey, this is what you need to do this week. Let me know how it goes. Like they're checking in, they're like checking your notes. Like I program for some people and like when they don't put in a result, like I text them like, hey, did you do this? You know, because it's like, okay, well, I put time into making sure that it was something you needed.
Yeah.
So if you didn't do it, well, then I'm probably just going to copy and paste that for next week.
Right.
Because like, I don't need to just make something else up because you didn't do it.
Keep going until you do it.
But then most of the time they're like, oh yeah, I just forgot to put this in. And I'm like, cool. Can you please go put notes in so that I know how it went so that I can then, you know, adjust or whatever, or add in something else. But, you know, just having that piece of accountability and somebody that's like, you know, like, hey, did you do that? Like, then it's like, okay, for my schedule, instead of me being like, I could make it to the gym, I don't really want to go. It's like, no, I need to go. You know what I mean? And that's how we can start sneaking in some of those extra sessions as well. So
yeah,
cool. Well, I'm excited for you, Brice. I would say you got a big runway ahead of you.
Yeah.
As far as like things that once you learn them, you're again like you're in shape guy. So it's just a matter of I think a little bit of technique and skill stuff, and your mental game is strong.
Thank you.
Based off of what we talked about earlier, like that ability to be like, I can do hard. The Bergs do hard things, right? Like, and I feel like that is so you almost to a detriment sometimes, where all the coaches are like, Brice. No, not the class. Brice specifically, do not come out hot.
Yeah,
like, we know you can do hard things, but not yet.
Chill a little bit.
Let's make the end of this workout hard, not the beginning.
Yeah.
So no, I think getting you dialed in a little bit more over the next year, and once y'all settle in, I think lots of stuff coming.
I think the blessing with Landon is that has forced me to dial back a little bit from going too hot because I just physically can't.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Yeah. It's like I tell everyone, like, since Landon is adopted, we can split shifts at night, which is amazing. It's amazing for Sarah. It's amazing for me. We get good quantity sleep. Like we're getting like 7 to 8 hours, but the quality of it is still not the greatest. So like come into class at 4:30, 5:30, I'm like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Like I can't run at 110% like I would ideally like to.
Yeah.
So that's actually been a nice like mental shift. And I know even we talked about this too, of like figuring out where your body's at on a certain day, or also just realizing like not every day is a compete day.
Yeah.
Like there are days that it's just tone back and actually just train, focus. And whether it's like toes to bar, I remember you talking about this, like if the workout is programmed for 15 or 20 toes to bar, like actually think about it. Think about what can I do? Don't just try to go for the 20 unbroken toes to bar and then be fried for round 2.
Right.
It's like actually do 10, get off, shake out, hop back on, and keep trucking away.
Do you think that you've maybe had better performances on some workouts lately because you've been forced to go slower and then all of a sudden you feel better later?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one workout in particular I can think of an instance, DT. It's 5 rounds of 12, 9, 6 deadlifts, hang cleans, and shoulder to overhead, right?
Yeah.
I think 155 for guys. And I used to always just be like, well, like, can I move the weight or not? Like, okay, cool, I'm going to go unbroken. And then like there was a time, and it was when we lived in Florida, I was just like sick, like just did not feel good. Like, but I was like, I'm going to go to the gym anyway, just to move. And I did that workout because that was what was programmed for the day.
Yeah.
And I PR'd by like 2 minutes.
Wow.
Because I actually
solid
was like, well, because I usually just went hot, like, you know what I mean? And it got to the point where it's like rounds 4 and 5, like couldn't do sets, like we're doing single, like it was just silly because I was going so hard in the first couple rounds that the latter 2 rounds were just so hard, versus that day I didn't feel great. So I was just like, I'm just going to move through this workout. Well, lo and behold, come set 4 and set 5, I was still doing small sets, and I finished the workout. I looked at the clock and I was like, maybe there's something to this whole like pacing thing and this idea of like holding yourself back or just like approaching stuff. And it's like, okay, we can only do that every so often. And then like at some point we have to bring the intensity back into it. Right. But there are times where it does make the most sense to be like, okay, this is clearly a 3 movement workout. I'm going to be doing this a lot. Does it make sense for me where I'm at to go unbroken right out the gate? For most people, the answer is no. Most people will do it. And then later they'll be like, why did I do that? And it's like, because everyone else around you decided they were going to do that too. And you were worried about trying to beat them. And, you know,
here you are.
It's the old Rich Froning. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. He literally brought that to the table. And it's still so hard to just hold yourself back though sometimes, because you're like, I feel so good.
Well, prime example, last week, fight gone bad. I had an amazing round 1. And then round 2 dropped by 30 reps. And then round 4 was down 40 reps from the first round. So there's definitely still some learning there of pacing. And
we had that conversation after, and then I went and did the same thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, I told Brice earlier to do this, and then I tried to go hard out of the gate, and I missed my PR by 1 rep.
Oof.
Yeah, I was pretty mad about it. That's worse than like missing by 10. Like when you miss something by 1 rep or 1 second, like it's like redoing the open and you hit the same time. It's just like so frustrating.
Like, why did I even do this? Why am I even here?
Why did I make this hurt? Good deal, sir. Do you have any other questions for us on anything? For me or Nate or?
No, I mean, I know you guys have talked a lot about like the new programming and what's been coming with the gym, and I feel like a couple weeks ago you guys talked about like some of the goals like for each of the tracks, but I'm curious like to know what are some of your guys' goals with them, and what are you guys like hoping to see it go like potentially long term, if you guys have thought about that?
I'd say personally for my thoughts of it obviously is always growing the business and being able to offer more things to more people, or maybe like have it be a little bit of an easier access. But I will say, I think I've noticed, which I think we all have, if you've been here long enough, the gym is trending more towards people signing up towards more competitions and things like that. So this definitely these tracks open the door to more people being able to get maybe a little bit more of that attention, or that want to try some different things and whatnot, you know, without necessarily it always having to be a one-on-one personal training session. Right. Because it's like, okay, if 30 people want to do stuff, we don't have time to work with 30 people one-on-one. So here's some ways we can start to introduce that. And then in one-on-one situations that are needed, hey, let's spend an hour working on this specific thing. Right. But for most people, it's like they've been doing class a while. There's a competition coming up, and it's like, okay, like you need to understand how to look at the workout differently, or how to attack it differently, or maybe do something, spend more time on something a little longer than what we would in class, or hit a little higher volume of something. So I think that's part of it. And then the other part was like barbell club I think that kind of started the track idea. You know, we were doing barbell club, it was in person, but then people were always kind of falling off, but then some people really still wanted it. It's like, we can't run a barbell club for 2 people. So it's like, okay, how do we still get this to some people that want to do it, but not necessarily have to like be like, oh, sorry, like you want to do it, but not enough people are doing it, so wait 2 months. So it's like, okay, how do we approach that as well? Which then the tracks kind of started coming out. And we've kind of just added to it. I actually just talked to Tori about trying to create like a running program that maybe is a 2 to 3 day a week thing that people can sign up for, that are, hey, they're signing up for a marathon, a half marathon, a 5K, 10K or whatever.
That's awesome.
And so she's going to program some of that, and that might be an option. So it's just a really good way to like give people a little bit more guidance on the extra work instead of them trying to figure it out on their own. And again, get more people involved that want it or need it instead of, oh, I only have time for 6 people. Sorry. Like, you know what I mean? So, which that's how it was before we started, before Nate came in and before track started. Like, there was a point where I just had so many one-on-one people that I actually was turning people away because I was like, I physically do not have the time to make that happen.
Yeah.
So, that's from a business standpoint, like that's where I kind of see it. And then we kind of see where it goes from there. But it's kind of Nate's baby, so I'll let him talk a little bit and maybe answer some stuff as well. So what do you got, Nate? Where do you see it going?
I mean, honestly, like I just really like coaching. And it gives me the ability to work closer with people while also, well, okay, let me rephrase this. So my goal ultimately, so coming from a competitive sport coaching background, my goal was to start working with like competitive or people that wanted to do competitions, get into competing, and then really starting to break down the side of like the sport of CrossFit rather than just the fitness program of CrossFit.
Sure.
So this kind of gave me that ability to one program workouts that are more of a competitive atmosphere type situation, while also giving the current members on that track different scales, different notes, different goals. Like this is the stimulus I want you to hit. These are the weights I'm looking for based on your level right now, so on and so forth. But ultimately, just gives me more opportunity to coach, which is ultimately what I wanted.
Yeah.
In terms of long term, love to see it, turn into like a Brood or a think tank or any of those big name camps. But I don't, at this moment, I don't know. I don't know what the next thing is going to be.
Long-term goals.
If you're on Nate's performance track, he needs you to go to the CrossFit Games so that people are like, I need Nate. No, I mean, any improvement, honestly, is going to show. And I think that's what gets more people involved. It's like, oh, so-and-so was on this track. They got better. Look at them at this competition. Okay, cool. I'm going to go do that. And I will say that if you look at, I know Nate puts in coach's notes, but like in the performance track, especially for individual stuff, like he's going to give you a full briefing of a lot of things.
Well, I think that's like the big difference with that performance track is every week so each member has like a very specific Google Doc where I give them the week of workouts ahead of time. Like, so on Sunday night, they basically get a coach's view of like, these are all the workouts for the week. And in that, then I'm breaking it down further to kind of what I was saying of like the goals and stimulus, but they're getting like a full idea of the workout. Then they give me feedback in that Google Doc and I reply to them of like, okay, why did you do this? How did this work? So it's not that real-time feedback that, obviously we would love to have for everybody, but we're at least getting that kind of more personalized feedback in terms of, at least text and as close to real time without being in person. So I think that's been really cool. And then just being able to, Jacob Booth's been a perfect example of like, man puts notes in every day. We're having that back-to-back conversation inside this Google Doc. And, we've been able to hopefully come up with some ideas of what's going on and how to fix some of the things. Like, for instance, with the gymnastics, it's possible he can't kip because his hands are too close to the wall. Yeah. Like it's something simple like that. So I think that's like the big thing there is just having kind of more individualized coaching on top of everything else. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of another example would be like where we talked about the toe to bar thing in the past, right? Like in Nate's or in the Google Doc, it's like maybe you go and you're like, well, I tried to do 20 and broken, and then the next round I couldn't. And then Nate's gonna be like, well, did you think about doing 776 so that you could do more on the next one? And then that gives you that idea for the next time you see that workout, right? And then he's helping track that and probably responding to those things as well.
Yeah, I think one of the big thing too is like the whole pacing thing. So we got a prime athlete who doesn't love to pace. He came out so hot in one of the workouts, and immediately my nose like, did we think about slowing down so we can finish the work? Like, so just kind of the funny things like that. It's super fun.
Yeah.
But that is the difference in competing versus class, right? And it's like once you want to make that jump, which is I think is where the tracks help. Is like, okay, you're looking for more than, like Nate said, just showing up and working out, right? And not everyone wants that, but like if you are, here are some options. And one-on-one personal training can get expensive. It will give you the most, and we will be able to help you out the most. But if that's not something that's doable for you, here's kind of a good middle ground where you're getting questions and answers in that time. Again, not right on that time, but like, hey, once a week I'm checking in with somebody and we're figuring out how I can better do this thing. And then hopefully showing up to competitions and letting the practice take over, which I know like Nate and I, like, I mean, we have a lot of people that compete a lot. So it's like, hey, if you're doing one and you're on the performance track, like, I have a pretty strong bet that if it's a local thing, Nate's probably going to be there, or myself, or like somebody else. And like, if so, especially if he's been working with you or I've been working on with you, then it's like, we're probably also going to coach you right there and be like, hey, remember that workout where we told you to slow down? This is that exact thing. Like, this is where we do that, you know? And then that hopefully helps you build a bank for when you compete later on down the road or something, you know, not that it's always good to have an in-person coach, but maybe you don't one time or whatever. And it's like, okay, I've learned how to do this or how to understand this better. Right? And so those are the big things. So.
It's funny that you mentioned about like going to a competition and people like, ooh, I wonder like what they're doing and what gym they go to. That's exactly how we found out about CrossFit Taylors.
Okay.
So when I was going to previous gym, we were moving over here to the Greer area and trying to find gyms, and because it was like a 40-minute drive to get out to my old gym, and I was just like, I can't take 2 hours to go to the gym. Like, it's unreal.
I used to do that. I can't do that anymore.
I can't do that. And so when we were at the Carolina Summer Games last year, we saw a group of people from CrossFit Taylors there, and Sarah and I were sitting there, and it's like everyone that was competing had like 6-pack abs. And then I remember there was a handstand walking workout where like Oscar was doing like 5-foot increments, but like falling forward, and he would like get up and look at the judge, and they'd be like, yeah, you're good. And he's like, sweet. And then I kept going, and they were just having like such a good time. And they were like, CrossFit Taylors, like, never heard of that. And then came in and checked out like a week later.
Sweet.
It was sold. So it works.
Hey,
it works.
Good. Hopefully, most of the time, people look like they know what they're doing at a competition. But if not, at least our group is having fun.
Yes.
Because I will say that's a big thing, obviously, that we like to push around here is like, make sure you're having fun while you're doing it. Because if you're not, then, you know, what? Like,
what's the point?
What are we doing if we're not having a good time?
Right. Absolutely.
So that's kind of cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was funny.
And the fact that you mentioned Oscar just tells me I wasn't even there, and I already know that I can just see the face and the dive and all the, you know, and I'm like,
yes,
like, you know. It's probably in last. Everyone else is already on the next movement, and he's just trying to get through 5-foot increments.
And everyone's like coming back. And it's like, but he was having a good time. That's all that matters.
Sweet.
Another question I did want to ask about now that we have a kid. Obviously, he's not ready for CrossFit Kids, though. I'll send him in as soon as he's ready. Where do you guys kind of see CrossFit Kids here at Taylor's going? And how would you see that develop?
For a while, I wanted to start it when we were at the old space, but because we had members with kids, they were always coming in. But back to when I was playing sports, like middle school, high school and stuff, it's like I didn't really get any training other than just like go out and play. And not that kids need weightlifting necessarily, but I want to put Hallie in gymnastics as early as possible to learn how to move her body better, or like under spatial awareness of like body, right?
Absolutely.
Plus, gymnastics teaches good impact, like loading, and then also explosion and like balance, right? Which are all really good things to learn. And then no matter what you do later, like it makes you a better athlete. And so with members with kids, it was like, okay, can we help these kids become better athletes necessarily? But they're also watching their parents do these things and they want to do them. So like people's kids, I want to help clean up. I'm going to pick up that kettlebell, that plate, or that, you know, the thing. And then you see them with the PVC pipe off to the side, like trying to mimic a clean or a snatch. And it's like, okay. So we definitely wanted to start it for a while. It was when we got the bigger space, we were finally like, okay, maybe we can actually do this, because like we didn't have the space or the time in the other one to do it, because we couldn't really just like be like, okay, we're not gonna have a CrossFit class, we're just gonna do CrossFit Kids, because our other space was much smaller. So that's kind of why we started it. Where I see it going, I mean, we've kind of talked about like right now it's 4 to 12 basically.
Okay.
It's kind of like the age range, right?
Yeah.
And we've tried splitting those ages up a little bit here and there. And like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because sometimes it's time based.
Mhm.
But we kind of talked about if we have the opportunity in the future of like having kind of essentially like what we're doing with adults, like have a class, but then have a performance.
Mm.
So like, could we have a kids class that is like the fun, functional, like just have them move and have a good time,
Yep.
introduce them to the gym at an early age so it becomes something they maybe want to do later, and it doesn't seem like a scary, crazy thing. It's like, oh, I've been in the gym my whole life. And it's like, okay, they don't even realize that they've learned a good habit.
Mhm.
They just see it as something that they do. And then have another class that's like the ones that like see the CrossFit, the kids, the teens games or whatever. And like,
Yeah.
I want to do that. Like we've had a couple kids, like their parents be like, hey, they watch the CrossFit games, they like really are into it. And it's like, okay, like kids class probably isn't going to teach those extra things or like
Mhm.
give them the chance to, but it's like, all right, like if that's actually something they want to do, like then could we have like almost like a sports performance type of class, or more something that's a little bit more of a push, whether it's for CrossFit or like they want to be a high school athlete or a college athlete, or maybe they want to go pro one day. And it's like, kids have their dreams when
Yeah.
they're younger, and it's like, okay, but like there is a certain age where like if you can get some better training in early
Mhm.
to make you more athletic, make you more powerful, make you stronger, like then like you'll have a better shot at those things.
Yeah.
And so we've kind of talked about potentially having at some point in the future introducing that kind of advanced kids class,
Yeah.
if you will. And
Okay.
then at a
Love
certain
that.
age, we, at 13, really, it's like, okay, if you have some experience, you can join the adult class. Like,
Okay, that's at 13.
I think 13 is
Mm.
kind of it's 13 with a parent.
Okay.
13 to 15, I think, like with a parent either here or in class with you.
Mhm.
And then after 15, you can be in class. Obviously, like once you kind of start driving, it's like, okay, if you're capable of getting yourself here, you're probably capable of learning and listening. And
Yeah.
well, the big thing is like we don't want adult class to not that all kids like I want the kid to act like an adult.
Yeah.
Like if you're in here with 16 other adults, like you also need to be able to pay attention, listen, and like, we're still going to coach you,
Mhm.
but not need one-on-one attention.
Yeah.
Right. Or not to be crazy or like running around or not paying attention and like walking under someone who's snatching or, something like that. Like, so it's like, okay, that's kind of the age where it's like, okay, I think you're actually focused enough. You want to do this. And so then it's like, okay, 13 is kind of that like, we'll say like a late 12 to early 13, because it's like if they've been in kids class, like Sophia, for example, is a
Mhm.
great example of she did kids class for like a year, like
Mhm.
multiple cycles, was always listening, was always paying attention. Like some of her form is better than half the adults we coach. Like, so then like I finally went up to her parents and I was like, if y'all are interested, I think she is ready to step into the adult classes with
Mhm.
y'all there as well. If that's like because like she wasn't getting to lift as much as she probably could. She
Right.
wasn't getting to like do the rope climbs that she liked to do and do some of the other things she could do. Right. And so I was like, hey, we can take this next step. But that being said, there's a big emotional difference with
Mhm.
ages as well. And when it comes to boys and girls and like all those different things, I learned that when I was snowboard instructing, of like certain age groups obviously are different levels of emotional, like where they're at.
Yeah.
And so that takes effect too. Like,
Mhm.
okay, you might physically be ready, but are you mentally or emotionally ready to kind of like, it can be overwhelming to
Mhm.
come into some days a 5-person class, which feels comfortable. And then the next time you come in, it's a 20-person class, right?
Yeah.
It seems a little more chaotic.
Yeah.
For adults, like doesn't really affect us. Like
Mhm.
we just kind of go, oh, whatever, like I'll move over here or whatever. But like for a kid, that might be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Change, especially coming from like the kids class is really structured,
Mhm.
right? So it's like, okay, are you, without getting too much further into it,
Yeah.
basically can you take the next step of, are you ready physically and mentally and emotionally to make this change? And if not, that's fine. Or like, we'll find a way to like kind of work with you a little bit more. But for the kids that want to do a little bit more, that aren't quite at that age range to take the step into the adult class, could we come up with like a sports performance type of thing?
Yeah.
And then we've had other ideas of like summer camps, like
Yeah.
week-long things or whatever. I think a cool step that we took it to this year was that the kids competition.
That was really cool.
That was a great way to kind of take the kids class to another level of
Yeah.
like, hey, instead of y'all just moving, there's now this thing that you're kind of focused on. And they did
Yeah.
Murph this year. A lot of them did Murph.
Oh.
And so kind of starting to introduce the events to them
Yeah.
has been a fun way to kind of get them a little more focused as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I love the idea of like high school training, because
Yeah.
I know you've talked about in other episodes of like doing high school sports and not really ever having like a proper like conditioning coach or weightlifting coach to like help you through that. Like being able to focus on that and help people improve in their sports would be cool.
for sure. Obviously, it comes down to space, time,
Space.
availability.
And the
We got-
clientele.
I tell
too.
you,
But
Nate's
seeing
Nate's
Sophia
great
come
coach.
through is really
Yeah.
cool. Like seeing her develop into the adult classes has been like really cool to see that from a third party.
Yeah, she's been the first one to kind of make that leap, and I know there's some
Mhm.
other kids that are itchy, and like I've had other parents like, "Hey, what's the age?" And I'm like, "Your kid's not even close." Like, sorry, we're not there, but you know, they will be, and then they'll grow into the same community culture that everyone else is, and hopefully 10 years from now, Sophia's 23 and has, you know, like other friends join. I don't know, you know what I mean, or whatever. I don't know exactly how old she is, but you know, like that'd be cool. And they'd be like, "Hey, remember when you started with the kids class?" Like that's fun. So yeah, that's kind of the goal with that.
I love it.
Same thing with Hallie. Like
Mhm.
I'll try to put her in it, but it's 4. 4 is the age. You know,
Right.
we got some years
Not
to go.
4
Not
months?
sooner.
No.
No. You gotta at least be able to walk first.
Oh, okay.
Walk
Okay.
and talk is probably some big prerequisites to doing kids class.
Awesome.
Cool, man. Anything
Yeah.
else?
I don't think so. No.
Nate, you got anything else? Good deal. Well,
Beautiful.
that's good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Man. Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.